Germany's Mosel Valley is rightly famous for its excellent Rieslings, but they do also have some other little gems to offer. Let's do things differently. This time around, a Weisser Burgunder coming right up. Hi guys, welcome to yet another edition of Big on Wine, the channel which, as you may well have worked out by now, attempts to bring you news, clues and reviews. Yes indeed, we try to keep you up to speed about just about everything that's happening in the world of wine, and of course our emphasis is on excellent value for money. And this week we are indeed back in Germany and Germany's Mosel Valley, and I have a wine for you, and it's this one here, and it goes under the name of Gebrüder Ludwig Weisser Burgunder Trocken, and the vintage is 2019, and this wine comes in for a price where I am of roughly €12.5 a bottle. Fine. Now, this is a wine from Germany's Mosel Valley, but it's not indeed a Riesling wine. It's a Weisser Burgunder or Weissburgunder, or indeed, if we go with the French name, it's a Pinot Blanc. Now, Germany's Mosel Valley is right over in the northwest, or in the west of Germany, very close to the border with Luxembourg. And this particular wine here is produced by Gebrüder Ludwig, and they're based in a very, very small place called Törnich. Population 200, if I remember correctly, which is about 25 kilometers or so northeast of the ancient German city of Trier. And of course, we're very, very close to the border with Luxembourg here. All right, now this is a single variety wine, starring on this occasion, not the Riesling, which of course is probably the dominant grape variety in the Mosel Valley, but the Weissburgunder Pinot Blanc, which is also planted widely in Luxembourg, in France's Alsace to the south, and of course further afield in Italy, Austria, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, many other places indeed. The wine in question has 12.5% alcohol and just 5 grams of residual sugar, putting it of course firmly in the dry category. All right, that's the background details filled in on this particular wine. Let's take a look at the wine in the glass, and as we can see, the color of the wine is a very pleasant straw gold, maybe even with just a very, very slight touch of green in there, but predominantly it's a kind of a straight down the middle straw gold in color. Looks perfectly acceptable to me. All right, this is young wine, of course. The vintage is 2019, and I think the 2020 vintage is now on sale in your shops. Okay, let's take now a little sniff and see what kind of aromas this particular wine is producing. Here we go. Right, now in the nose, the aroma of this wine is relatively subtle, it's relatively restrained, but the aromas which I'm getting on this wine are pretty much in the kind of on the scale of apple and lemon, I would say. Apple has a certain degree of sweetness in the aroma. Of course, this is a dry wine, so it's not a sweet wine at all. But in the aroma anyway, there's almost like a hint of sweet apple, of lemon, a little bit of herbiness, almost maybe even of rosemary or something like that in the nose. But certainly the dominant aroma, I think, is of mature fruit, rich fruit, with that apple note being the predominant one there. Also a touch of minerality in the nose. Very pleasant, very restrained, very fine in the nose. Very acceptable. All right, let's try it now in the palate, see what we can find. Let's see whether those aromas are carried over into flavors. Here we go. Now, the immediate impression I get of this wine is that it has a very open and generous palette of flavors to offer. I like that a lot. It immediately gives a lot in the mouth. So full-bodied, generous, a dry wine, but also extremely fruity. Let's try it again one more time. This is a wine that doesn't hold back. It's mouth-filling. The fruitiness of the wine is the dominant. It almost has, in the background here, or in the finish to the wine, almost a sweet spiciness, which we know is not connected to the sugar content, because the sugar content is relatively little. But it has a lovely fruitiness, a lovely sweet spiciness, or an impression of sweet spiciness to it as well. Also a certain floral nature, almost like walking through a meadow of summer flowers. But at the same time, it's not flabby, it's not loose, it's not over pretty, the wine. It has a nice solid backbone of citrus acid, which leaves you with a lovely mouth-watering finish, and that kind of almost like sweet spiciness remains in the mouth for a long time. It's a very appealing combination, I have to say. Now, this is a wine where you need to get your temperature right, of course. It can't be too warm, the wine, when you serve it, so make sure that you keep it in the fridge for an hour or so at least before you serve it. I would say a serving temperature of around 9 or 10 degrees is just about optimum for this particular wine. Let's bring you the heads up on this one. This is a wine, I think, which makes a great all-rounder. It has an abundance of fruit and flavour. It has a very nice balance between the flavour on the sweet spiciness and the zingy acid. It's an excellent wine for flavourful fish or seafood, and also, you know, an excellent wine for ad hoc drinking with friends. This is a dry Weisser Burgunder or Pinot Blanc or Weisser Burgunder from Germany's Mosel Valley. Perhaps more highly renowned for its off-dry Rieslings, but dare I say it, I almost prefer the Weisser Burgunder. This is much more to my taste. Apple and lemon with a satisfying acidic bite, and all at a very acceptable price. I'm going to give this wine 3 stars plus out of 5. Okay folks, many thanks for tuning in and checking out this week's video. And of course, this was a little introduction to a rather different wine from the Mosel Valley, not an off-dry Riesling, but a dry Weisser Burgunder from the Ludwig brothers there, close to Trier. Nice stuff indeed. Okay, if you've enjoyed what you've seen and heard, then please do feel free to give us a big thumbs up. Yeah, give us a like. We do enjoy getting those. Drop a comment down below if you feel that way inclined. Share the video around to your heart's content. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, why not consider doing so? And while you're about it, why not hit that little bell icon down below, and you'll be informed as soon as every new video is uploaded. And naturally, I'll be back again next week with another great wine of the week for you. But until we meet again, this is Tony Melville signing off and saying, hey, take care out there, be good to each other, enjoy your wines, and cheers.